The Seattle Seahawks must continue their momentum this weekend and get another divisional win against the Arizona Cardinals. What's up, everybody? Good morning. It is Saturday. Got a lot of college football going on today, but we're waiting for the main event tomorrow. We're waiting for NFL football tomorrow, and in particular, we're waiting for the Seattle Seahawks to play host to the Arizona Cardinals and try to really get their season back on track. They gave themselves a chance last week by beating the 49ers, but they got to keep it going. That one win is only going to do so much for you. You got to string together some wins here. So let's talk about what needs to happen. This video is powered by BetUS. More on them later. Yeah, this is another relative must-win game. I don't see how this Seahawks team can realistically hope to make the postseason and make this a successful season if they do not get this win tomorrow afternoon. So let's talk about it for a little bit here. Let's break it down. Let's figure out what's going on here, because I get the sense that if you're a Seahawk fan, this Cardinal team is still a little bit unknown to you. You don't really know what's going on here with these Cardinals, even though they're number one in the division, even though they've won 4 in a row. This is certainly the team in the division that is rivals with the Seahawks, that Seahawks fans are probably the least aware of, because the 49ers, they make the NFC title game pretty much every year. They're always making runs. They're always contenders. And this Rams team, I mean, they won the Super Bowl a few years ago. They did have that one bad year, but we as Seahawks fans have a pretty good sense about what those teams have that work and what makes them so hard for us to beat. Like, even when the Rams were bad, we had a pretty good idea of what they had going for them that was helping them get to where they wanted to go. The Rams had maybe the best coach in football. A lot of people still think that McVay's the best coach in football. The Niners have one of the best coaches in football. We know about how stacked those rosters are, or at the very least, how stacked they have been in the case of the Rams, maybe. Maybe they're not so stacked now. But this Cardinals team, little bit more of an enigma. And I think we got to start familiarizing ourselves with what these Cardinals do and how they put themselves in a position to now be the one team in this division with a winning record. So let's start with let's start with the coach, right? Because Jonathan Gannon, that was a hire the Cardinals made that a lot of people made fun of at the time, and I was kind of part of it. Now, I always say I don't really know how good a coach is going to be until he actually gets to coach. And it's really hard for any of us to know who is going to be a good coach until they actually get to coach. So I always keep an open mind with this stuff, because being an NFL head coach is over 100 hours a week of work. And we as NFL fans get to see so little of that I feel like we just can't know until the proof gets in the pudding, which is to say, until the team either starts winning games or losing games, you just don't know. And Jonathan Gannon, after starting out with some real question marks around his ability to be a head coach in this league, has got these guys playing really hard and maximizing what I would call a somewhat limited pool of talent. So good for him. I would definitely start there. Before we go further into this, I want to tell you about my friends over at BetUS, though. You can head on over there right now. Sportsbook and casino, all online, the best online sportsbook out there. You could go throw down a bet on this Seahawks-Cardinals game. You can do money line. You can do over-under. You can do game props. I said earlier this week, maybe go throw down some stuff on JSN because he's playing so well lately. You can do all kinds of different things over on BetUS, all different kinds of sports. Get on over there. Use promo code YouTube150 to to get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% deposit bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. So get on over to BetUS, check them out, throw down some wagers on sports. All right. So back to the Seahawks Cardinals game. That's the coach. That's the coaching stuff. They found something that has really worked. They've kind of normalized their offense a little bit, I feel like. They've kind of abandoned this idea of being this air raid college style offense in some regards. Like they were a 99.9% of the time shotgun team. Now they play a little bit more conventionally. They run the ball a lot more. In fact, running the ball is kind of their identity on offense, and they do it well. And a big reason why is they do have that dual threat quarterback, which the Seahawks have played a few times this year, but I don't think we've had to deal with a dual threat quite like Kyler Murray yet this year. And some of that is just because of the choice of the players. We played Bo Nix. Bo Nix didn't run that much in that game. We played Josh Allen. Josh Allen didn't run that much in that game. Most of the quarterbacks we played this year have either been pocket quarterbacks, guys like Kirk Cousins, guys like Matthew Stafford, or they've chosen to mostly play like pocket quarterbacks. We have not had to deal with the guy who buys a lot of time in the pocket and makes plays with his legs and takes off and runs a lot. Closest thing we've had this year to that's probably Brock Purdy. And while Brock Purdy has a surprising amount of athletic ability and is pretty capable with his legs, he's not Kyler Murray in that regard. He's not. Kyler Murray brings a different dimension to the table here. Even after his ACL tear, he's a very good athlete. I don't think he's a stellar quarterback, but the Cardinals have been able to make him stellar, make him look stellar because of how much they protect him in this new Cardinals offense, where they're trying to limit his throws. They're trying to get him to throw the ball 5 to 6 times a quarter on average. They're trying to run the offense through Kyler's legs and the legs of James Conner, who is still an effective running back in this league. And it's worked. It has worked well. This team probably doesn't have 6-4 talent, but because they manage the game well, because they lean on their rushing attack, they're here. And this is going to be kind of, in some ways, the final challenge for this revamped Seahawks defense. Because the last 2 games, after several games of getting run over to the point where nothing else really mattered, the Seahawks have actually been pretty effective stopping the run. Now, the 49ers had some success. The 49ers did okay running the ball, but they didn't kill us. And at the end of the day, we were able to win that game because while the Niners were effective running the ball, they weren't dominant. And then, of course, you had the Rams, who really didn't run the ball that well at all. And that's the key here, right? That's the key. If you can stop the run, you can force the other team to have to throw the ball more. And even though in neither of those games did the Seahawks build up some big lead, never at any point in those games did the Seahawks have some monster lead that forced the other team to throw the ball. They still had to win or lose the game on the back of their passing attack. The Rams were able to do it. 49ers were not. But the point is, we're forcing those teams into those situations. So, can you do it against this team with their dual threat quarterback? They do things differently. It's not the same as stopping the Rams' rushing attack, right? The Rams, they're a team that wants to just run the ball right at you, right up the gut. They want to just pound it with their really powerful offensive line. They want to keep things very simple. They do a lot of A-gap and B-gap stuff. They keep it pretty straightforward. And in that first game, you did successfully stop that. But you stopped it because the Rams, they keep things simple, and you were able to stay on top of that. The 49ers, they're able to do a lot of things with their rushing attack, but they don't have that dual threat quarterback to force you to stay honest, right? And Purdy, look, more mobile than I gave him credit for sure. He's got some wheels. He can do some stuff. but he is not the kind of threat that Kyler is. And if this Seahawks defense stops the run successfully tomorrow, then I feel like they're there. Now, that doesn't mean they can't fall off. That doesn't mean things can't happen that change the perception down the line. But this is like the final boss of showing you know how to stop the run. Can you stop the run when the quarterback is a threat to take off with it at any time? When he is a threat to keep the ball on the zone read? When he is someone who can take off and just scamper for 30 yards in the blink of an eye? If you can do that, then I think you're there. And I think that as a Seahawks fan that has watched this defense improve so much over the last 2 weeks, whether or not they win this game, whether or not they even play a great game defensively, if they can show that, if they can show they can stop the run against this team, I'm going to feel like that's a defense that can get it done consistently week to week for the rest of the year and going forward with this core and with this coaching staff for future years. And that's more valuable at the end of the day, right? We want to win now. We also want to win later. And if you can do that and you force Kyler to throw the ball a lot, either because he's behind or because the running game just isn't working, he'll probably make mistakes. He'll probably turn it over. He'll probably make bad throws. That Cardinals offense has a really good tight end in Trey McBride. He's much better than I thought he would be. They got Marvin Harrison Jr., who's had a good rookie year so far. And then not much else. Like Michael Wilson is okay. Greg Dortch is a guy. And there really isn't a lot that makes you scared. You can put Witherspoon on maybe McBride. You put Woolen on Harrison. And I feel like you can kind of live with the results there, even with the way Woolen's played the last few weeks. So if that is the way it goes down, I like our chances. I like our chances to get a couple of turnovers. I like our chances to really make Kyler uncomfortable in a way that he hasn't really been made uncomfortable in most of their games this year. And you got an opportunity to get on top of this team in a way that is going to make them play the way they don't want to play. They got a nice little offensive line in Arizona, I'll say that. So the pass rush has their work cut out for them. But I would have said the same thing about some of these other teams we played recently. Like that Rams offensive line is getting healthier by the week. And we were able to do pretty decent work against them. So I'm excited to see what this pass rush is able to cook up. I don't have super high expectations, but it's going to be interesting nevertheless. How are they going to handle Kyler in the pocket? Are they going to have a quarterback spy? Who's going to be the quarterback spy? It's probably Tyrese Knight. Is Tyrese Knight capable of being the spy on a guy like a Kyler Murray, who is faster than him? Kyler is going to be faster than any linebacker in the league, pretty much. So can he handle that? And I want to see what happens. And after this game, if I see good things, then I'm going to feel like this Seahawks defense is ready to go on a little bit of a run for the rest of the 2024 season. And I'm going to feel like those guys are going to get the job done. I just need this offense. And then that gets us to the offense, right? Where this Cardinals defense, playing well over the last month, playing well overall this season, but they have clear weaknesses. They do not rush the passer well. Their best pass rusher before the season started was probably Ojulari, followed by Gardeck. Both those guys not playing. Darius Robinson has been a complete non-factor so far. He hasn't really played much. I don't know if he's going to play this week even. We'll see. But it doesn't really matter if he plays or not. This Cardinals team can't really rush the quarterback. They got Dante Stills. He's probably their top pass rusher. And they traded for Baron Browning at the trade deadline. That might be the best thing they can throw at you right now. It's not a team that is going to be able to consistently generate pressure. Zaven Collins on the blitz a little bit, I guess. He's all right. But there's no Bosa, there's no Hutchinson, these guys that have killed us earlier this season. And in the absence of quarterback pressure, this team is capable of cooking offensively. Geno has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league, like legitimately top 5 when given a clean pocket. So this is a great opportunity for him to get some clean pockets with Abe Lucas out there at right tackle and a little bit of continuity up front. So that's what I'm looking at right now. That matchup favors the Seahawks very, very much. The one guy on that Cardinals defense who really kind of intimidates you would be Budda Baker. He's having a great year. He's doing some awesome stuff for them. And I take nothing away from Budda. I thought that maybe he was going to be entering a slightly different phase of his career, but this is one of the best years he's had. After that, though, there isn't a lot that I think is great on this Cardinals defense. They got Garrett Williams. He's good, right? Garrett Williams is good. They've got Max Melton. I love his talent, but he's not quite there yet. Like I said, Zaven Collins is all right. Dante Stills has been good for them. But a lot of the guys that they would have been leaning on to be like their studs to carry them forward, we haven't seen a lot from them. And shout out to Jonathan Gannon, because Gannon is doing everything he can to get as much as possible out of this group, and they've mostly been solid. But I don't see a defense that intimidates me. They're going to be down a safety, Jalen Thompson. Gannon likes to go 3 safety a lot, so that's going to hurt. We're going to get some Dadrian Taylor Demerson, I would say. We're actually going to get a lot of them. And I don't know if they're going to be able to go 3 safety though as much as they might want to. And I think that's a significant loss. I think that's a significant thing that they want to have that they don't have. And I just look up and down this defense and I'm like, oh, that guy's okay. That guy's okay. That guy's average. That guy's passable. But other than Budda Baker, I don't see guys that really intimidate me. So if you can keep that pocket clean, and most teams that have played the Cardinals this year have kept the pocket clean. They have one of the worst pass rush win rates in football. I think it's bottom 4, bottom 5 in the league. So if you can keep up the modest, and I do mean modest, success of last week against the 49ers, where it was pretty decent after Bosa got hurt, then I think you can make hay. You might even be able to run the ball this week, because this Cardinals team, they're not great stopping the run. Maybe this is finally the week you get a real running game going. Oluwatimi's now had a full week to settle in after playing a good game on Sunday. Maybe you're going to start to see some better stuff from the guards now that we're having, hopefully, a little bit of better stuff going on in the middle. And with Abe Lucas out there, there's a little bit less to worry about on that side. That's going to help as well. And if he can make it through the whole game, you do the math. It seems like a game where there's enough to take advantage of to where you really should be able to find a way to get the win. And then you have the stuff that is outside just the rosters and the X's and O's. The Seahawks, well, let's be clear, both teams should be very motivated to win this game. If the Cardinals win this game, they're going to feel very good about their chances of winning the division. But they're not going to be desperate the way the Seahawks are. The Cardinals can lose this game and say, we'll get them in 2 weeks, because we play them again in 2 weeks. So Cardinals can go, we need a split with the Seahawks. If we split with the Seahawks, we're okay. Seahawks, I don't know if you can say that. I don't think a split is going to get it done. I think you got to sweep them. I think you've got to be the team that puts them down below you. You can't count on other teams to do it for you. We've tried that the last few weeks. It has not worked. So I think that as a player or coach on the Seahawks, you need to be approaching this with an absolute must-win mindset. It is going to be really hard to dig yourself out of the hole if you lose this game. Cardinals, you don't want to lose, but it's not dire the way it would be for the Seahawks. And you put that in the blender, you put that in the recipe when you're trying to figure out how you think this game is going to go. You look at things like the Seahawks being absurdly healthy right now. If Noah Fant plays, and it sounds as of right now like he will, then the Seahawks are going to be down 2 starters across their offense and defense in this game. One of the starters retired, Connor Williams, and the other starter is Uchenna Nwosu. Other than that, you've got basically everybody you were hoping to have when the season started. And quite honestly, if Oluwatimi plays the way he played last week, you're not going to be sitting there saying, I wish we had Connor Williams. Oluwatimi had a higher PFF grade in his game last week than Connor Williams had in any game this year. So that may not even be a thing that is worth thinking about. And Nwosu, I mean, we haven't had him all year, if we're being honest, right? He's basically not played. So, no excuses. Things are going in your favor here. The matchup is pretty agreeable. Just go out there and get it done. And Seahawks fans, please go to this game and do the thing, right? I don't want to see a bunch of Cardinals fans in the stadium this week. This game is important. This game matters. So I'm going to go with 27-20 Seahawks. I feel fairly good. I don't feel amazing. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I feel decent about it. I think we're going to get this win, 27-20. Maybe another video later today. If not, see you guys tomorrow. See you guys on Twitch later. Go Hawks. That's what I got. Let me know what you think down below. Once again, thank you to BetUS for powering the video. Always gamble responsibly.